Claire out here on these YouTube streets again. And this is one of those lives that I might delete later, but I just want to give a real tete-a-tete talk. You know, I remember living with my boyfriend, and there was this girl that was extremely delayed walking down the street, and she was pregnant. And that girl really couldn't hold a full on adult conversation. And my boyfriend looked at me and he said, "Whoever got that girl pregnant, man, that is wrong. That is wrong. They took advantage of that girl. Because that girl is extremely delayed. You can even see it in her walk, the way she held her hands. You know, as she walked down the street, you can tell this girl was straight up delayed. Like, you know, like Social Security check getting delayed." And one thing I really wanted to talk about was Clarissa Shields. You know, she has put on record that this girl, she did not even talk. She didn't talk for years. And even when she was 9 years old, she was receiving a Social Security check because she was delayed. And over time, she found her niche, something that she was good at, which was fighting. And I really, really feel like Clarissa found out that her niche was fighting by accident because she was unable to express herself in a proper way, and because people kept effing with her. And once she found out that she could whoop some tail, she discovered her talent. She gained confidence. She gained relevance. So, therefore, you know, she gained strength and she was able to make money. The Bible says your gifts will make room for you. And she discovered her gift. And instead of you know, continuing to fight on the street or beat up her boyfriend or relatives, she took it to the ring and she made a profession of it. And for that, I have a lot of respect for that young lady. But again, you know, she has gone on record stating that she did not talk for years. And her mother received a Social Security check for her since she was 9 years old, according to her cousin that just had an interview with Tasha K. And now that she has made so much money and has done any and everything for everybody in her family, there came a point where she just had to get rid of them and put them out. And I'm almost certain never in a million years did her family and her boyfriend think that she would come to her senses and put her family out and have Papoose drive, go get and repossess the car that she bought her ex-boyfriend. Never in a million years did they think that she even had the sense to put two and two together, to come to the conclusion that, hey, you guys are using me, you guys are hurting me, and I don't have to take this anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself out of the equation and I'm cutting you off. And here she is, running into the same test, the same spirit, different body, y'all. She's running into the same spirit, different body. Clarissa Shields has had to be exploited and used by her own family, by her own boyfriend. She has got them a house. She's gotten them, she's provided for them after all that she's been through. Not talking for years. And her mother receiving an SSI check for her on her behalf because the girl was considered to be delayed or special ed. And she came to the conclusion, after all that she's done for her family, she has put them out and she has cut off her ex-boyfriend. And here she is with the same test, dating a married man who is exploiting her. Now, yeah, she's gotten better. She talks, and boy, oh boy, does she talk big money, if you know what I mean. She runs her mouth like Muhammad Ali, saying that, you know, she wants to get in the ring with certain people, that she will whoop a dog's behind. Oh yeah, she really runs the show with the mouth, and she feels as though she can back it up. But spiritually, she's in her biggest fight. Now, she's a champion physically in the ring. I'm not going to even hold you. She is a beast. But spiritually right now, she is in one of the biggest fights. She's got the whole moral police against her. She's got every married woman, all the single scorned women. Everybody is either criticizing her or they are rooting for her to get up out of this relationship and see things for what it is. And I'm here to tell you, Clarissa Shields, I don't know if this video is going to get to you or not. And I pray in Jesus' name that if it does, that you are not offended by anything that I may have said. But I want to let you know, girl, you are in the biggest spiritual fight of your life. I know what it is to fall into your flesh, to know by all means, hey, this is it. This is the one. I know what it is to feel like a man is showing up for you like no other man has ever showed up for you. And it feels so real. And the sex feels so real and so connected. I know what it is to be a rebound. And someone just comes in your life and they put 20 on 10. To make it seem as though you are the one, you are the only, you're the one that they've been searching for. And everything previous was null and void and a mistake. Because they're running from their own hate. They're running from their own resentment. They're running from their own hurt. So they've taken all of that and they have transmuted the energy to show up for someone who is broken, who needs love, who is receptive to receiving love, and who is very giving. And I know what that feels like. And I know that 90% of the reality doesn't show up in your head, only 10%. But in that other 90% that's in your head is filled with what could be, what it might be. What if they're wrong? I like the way I feel. I don't care what anybody says. This is about me. This is about me and him. Get out of our business. And everybody's trying to tell you the real. And you just can't help yourself because you just have fallen in love. So I know what it is to be in the thick of things and the thickest fog where you just can't even see your way. You can't even make yourself get through the fog. But deep down inside, Clarissa, I know for a fact that deep down inside, when you lay down at night, you lay next to that man, something in you is not, the key does not fit the lock. Something in you is telling you, this ain't it. Something in you is telling you, if he really loved me, he would do this. Why is it so hard for him to do that? How come he doesn't say this? How come things don't move? See, let me tell you something. You wouldn't have had to ask him for a kiss on the red carpet based on a social cue and you guys being in sync with one another. He would have given you a kiss. You know, and what I'm hearing is she spent her Christmas by herself. She didn't even doll up. She was just there. And then I guess the day after Christmas, she went to Louis Vuitton and she spent all that money. But let me tell you something. I don't care if you go to Louis Vuitton, Dior, Versace. I don't care if you go to Hermes, baby. You could spend $500,000 on yourself. But if you are broken inside, all the money in the world, I don't care if he got you an $8 million deal. All the money in the world cannot fix what's broken. And like I said, y'all, she in the biggest fight of her life spiritually. And I know she's got it in her. And I know I'm fighting for this girl because I know what it is to be afraid of letting go of what you know, only to go into the unknown and to walk the path of the unknown. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. When I was so in love with this man and God said no and he shut it down. And that man, I'm telling you, I was in the thick of things and I was in love. And what did he do? He left and didn't come home. He didn't come home. And that was confirmation to me that he was somewhere else with somebody else. And when I called, it went straight to voicemail. And when I text, he did not reply. He didn't call me until the next morning at 10:30 when he knew I was at work. And he didn't even call me. He put GM, an acronym for good morning, at 10:32 the next morning. And when I said we're done, he threw me the peace sign as an emoji. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Get my likes up. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I am letting you guys know that, Clarissa Shields is in the biggest fight of her life spiritually with this married man who has his mind made up. And he knows that girl is delayed. And he is exploiting her for her talent and getting money off of her. And once he's done with her, he's going to be done. And there's speculation that he's already gotten money from her as our manager. And all of a sudden, Remy Ma is happy. She's shopping. The baby's happy. And he didn't come home for Christmas with Clarissa Shields. She spent Christmas alone. And at the end of the day, you know what that man is going to say? Well, I'm married. I'm married to Remy. A man can't be with his wife. A man can't sleep with his wife. He's always going to fall back on that because you know why? That's where his heart is. And I'll never forget how broken I was. I was so broken I began to seek psychics about the situation at hand with that man. And basically that lady told me, she said, yeah, he liked you okay. But somebody that he had been loving, that he thought was so much better than you, someone he had been wanting so bad, decided to give him a chance. And not only did I find out that he disappeared on me for a woman that he had been dying to get with, I also found out that he was married and that he dug into the joint savings account to take the young lady on a trip. And that's why he said, "Oh, I gotta go out of town on business." And then when he said, "I'm gonna be home. I'm coming straight to you off the plane," and didn't show up, y'all, and turned off his phone because he went where his heart was, and it took heartbreak for me to get it together. I was stupid in love. Oh yeah, I was having unprotected uh, engagements, putting my whole life at risk for this man. And he didn't come home to me. And I cried and I had missed him, but I told God yes. His no and his rejection was God's protection. And I'm telling you, y'all, I was so scared to go get tested because I did not know this man. I was trying to get pregnant by this man. He said he wanted a baby with me. He said all of these things. And I can only imagine what Pap is telling Clarissa. Just to manipulate and have his way with her. But I'm here to tell you, y'all, that she's in the biggest fight of her life. And I've been there. I've been at that breaking point. And I'm praying on her behalf, y'all, that she gives God a yes. That she knows that there is life. There was life before him and there will be life after him. You know, and that she really, really does some soul searching. And she has enough money to where she could really go to some sort of a retreat and just kind of disappear. She has enough money to where she can get someone in PR to help her and rebuild her image, show her working out, show her getting back to fighting, show her doing charity work and speaking and just standing alone, and stop allowing people to use her shine and her talent. It's been said that this man wants to have a rap concert before or after the fight. Now, if that ain't obvious, I don't know what is. But I'm just here to tell you guys, there's life after a breakup. There's life after a heartbreak. There is life after disappointment. And you may be in the biggest fight of your life right now. You may have given your all to somebody, opened the doors to your home to somebody. It could be a family member. It could be a loved one. It could just be someone at work whom you've allowed to trauma dump and you felt compelled to help them. And then they just turn around and stab you in the back and low-key dry snitch on you and tell your business at work. You may have been betrayed, y'all. And I did a video earlier speaking about cursing the fig tree, how Jesus cursed the fig tree because it did not bear fruit. And I'm here to say it again. If the tree is not bearing fruit, curse it and cast it away and keep it moving. You're going to go through a season of loneliness. You're going to go through a season of disappointment. You're going to go through a season of anger. You are going to go through a season of sadness. But I guarantee you, the sun will come out tomorrow. And you will see a rainbow of God's promise if you give him a yes, a full-on yes. And I'm praying for our sister Clarissa. I didn't get on here to clown nobody. I brought up the past as context because she herself said she didn't speak. And her mom and her family said that her mom received assistance, Social Security for her due to her status mentally as a child. And even though she's gotten better over the years, Those are the proclivities that have made her her as of today. And I just feel like karma is coming to those who exploit God's people. Because the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And the least you've done to my little ones, you've done it unto me. So while this person, I'm not going to call him out of his name, but even as we publicly watch this train wreck, and as this person uses her and says, well, I got you $8 million, even though I'm taking 1.6 million of your money. I got you 8 million. So you're walking away with a lovely parting gift. It ain't like you, look at what I did for you. But he knows he's pulled on this girl's heartstrings. He's created a soul tie with her. He's made promises. He got her. And I don't care if he did not object, saying, hey, no, we ain't getting married. I'm not looking to get married again. I already got a wife. No, you ain't have no baby by me. You might find somebody else, but I don't want to have no baby with you. He may not even have verbalized that and said that to her because he wanted the gifted goose to keep laying the golden eggs. But God sees all and he knows all. And he don't play about the little ones. You know, they say, God bless the babies and the fools. And let me tell you something. God has his hand on Clarissa Shields' life, y'all. And think it not strange if, and I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but if God was to allow some things to happen because this man tried to exploit and use this girl, he'll never see that money. I know somebody that was waiting on a house sale because they were going to get a portion out of the money. But he had done so much. He had done drive-bys and he did all this gang banging. And he thought, finally, I'm going to get out of the game. I'm going to get a fourth of this money. And I'm going to be able to start my life and support my newly found family and my new wife and finally be the man and the provider. And we're finally going to be looking into getting some house. Oh, yeah, he had plans, y'all. He had plans. But let me tell y'all, that man had a stroke before the check could clear. And he was out of here. See, whether you going to pay on the front end or the back end, you are going to have to pay. And I just want to encourage you guys, don't use nobody and don't allow nobody to use you. And if you're in the biggest fight of your life or you can't see your way, but when you lay down, it don't feel good. When you sit next to that person, it don't feel right. It's not natural. If it's right, it's not going to be forced, y'all. Don't be afraid of change. Change could be a good thing. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let people extort you and use you. And I want to say, giving does feel good. One thing I did, I love to give. You know, especially if you're a child. And I see, hey, let me buy her some shoes. You know, because it's not the child's fault. And there's been times where I've taken a child to Target. I don't even have any children. And bought them all kind of berets, got their hair done and everything. And then their parent come along. First is thank you. They express their gratitude. And the next thing you know, the parent trying to use me. And making them call me auntie and godmother. Shut it down, y'all. Shut it down. Take it for what it is and move on. And tell them, hey, if you need anything else, pray to the Father. Because I'm done. Anyways, I'm Nikki St. Clair. Thank you for choosing to stop in. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.